There's a word that gets thrown around in laundromat investor circles that I love: zombiemat. A zombiemat is a laundromat that is technically open, technically has customers walking through the door, but is being run so badly — broken machines nobody fixed, peeling floors, no card readers, lights flickering like a horror movie — that it is basically the walking dead of small businesses. And here is the thing about a zombiemat: it is also, for the right buyer, one of the best deals in American small business. Let me explain why, and then we will get into the full picture of what this business actually looks like. The laundromat industry in the United States is a $5 billion market. It has a 90 to 95% long-term survival rate, one of the highest of any brick-and-mortar business that exists. Think about that for a second. Restaurants fail constantly. Retail stores are getting wiped out. Laundromats just keep going. Because 36% of Americans rent their homes, millions of them have no washer and dryer, and nobody has figured out how to disrupt the need for clean clothes. This is a business that has survived every recession, every economic crisis, and the rise of Amazon. You cannot have your socks delivered already washed. Now, the cost picture. And I want to be straight with you here because the range is wide. Building a laundromat from scratch, finding a space, doing the build-out, plumbing, electrical, buying all new commercial machines costs between $200,000 and $700,000. That is a lot of money, and it's also a 6 to 12-month wait before you see a dollar of revenue while the space gets built out. This is the path that makes sense for someone with real capital, a great location opportunity, and the patience to build something from the ground up. Buying an existing laundromat with proven revenue costs between $50,000 and $500,000, depending on the size, condition, equipment age, and how well the current owner is running it. This path gives you day-one cash flow, an existing customer base, and a real revenue history you can actually underwrite. The risk is inheriting problems: old machines, a bad lease, deferred maintenance, which is why due diligence on an acquisition matters more than almost anything else. And then there's the zombiemat: buying a neglected, underperforming laundromat with a good location and bad everything else, typically priced between $35,000 and $200,000, then retooling it with new machines, card readers, fresh paint, and basic renovations. This is what the WashBiz Hub community of over 78,000 laundromat operators calls the best risk-adjusted return in the business, because you're buying a location that already has foot traffic and a customer habit at a price that reflects how badly it's being managed rather than how well it could perform. Here's what the monthly numbers actually look like at a working laundromat. A self-service laundromat generates between $15,000 and $30,000 in gross monthly revenue, after rent, which typically runs $1,500 to $6,000 depending on your market, utilities, which are your biggest ongoing expense and can run $3,000 to $8,000 a month because washers and dryers consume enormous amounts of water and electricity, maintenance, insurance, and supplies. Your average net profit lands between $5,000 and $7,000 per month. That's $60,000 to $84,000 a year in owner income from a business that largely runs itself once it's set up. Full-service laundromats that offer wash and fold, pickup, and delivery earn significantly more and are where the real income upside lives. A wash and fold operation with a pickup and delivery route on top of the self-service floor is generating $25,000 to $45,000 in revenue in active urban markets. The profit margin range across the industry is 15 to 35%, with well-run operations consistently hitting the higher end. What separates a 15% margin laundromat from a 35% one is almost always two things: equipment efficiency and add-on services. Newer machines use dramatically less water and electricity than older ones, which is why retooling a zombiemat with energy-efficient Dexter or Speed Queen commercial machines is not just a cosmetic upgrade. It directly improves your margin on every single load. An add-on revenue, vending machines, a coffee station, dry cleaning drop-off, phone charging stations, sounds minor until you realize these additions cost almost nothing to implement and add pure margin on top of your existing floor revenue. Financing this business is more accessible than most people assume. An SBA 7A loan covers laundromat acquisitions with 10% down and 10-year terms. Equipment financing through commercial laundry suppliers like A-Advantage Laundry Systems is sometimes available at 0% down, covering machines only. Seller financing, where the current owner carries part of the purchase price at negotiated terms, is common in this industry and often the most flexible deal structure available for a first acquisition. The failure modes in this business are honest and specific. Underestimating utility costs is the most common one. Water and electricity at a laundromat are not normal business utilities. They're your second largest expense after rent, and new owners who don't model these correctly before buying discover the problem in month 2 when the bill arrives. Get 12 months of utility statements from the seller before you close on anything. Bad lease terms are the second killer. A laundromat is entirely location dependent and entirely immovable. If your landlord raises rent dramatically at renewal or doesn't renew at all, you can't pick up the machines and drive to a better spot. Negotiate a minimum 5-year lease with 2 renewal options before you invest $1 in equipment. And ignoring the customer experience. The laundromats that build loyal, returning customer bases in 2026 are clean, well-lit, have working card readers on every machine, offer free Wi-Fi, and feel safe at any hour. The ones that lose customers to competitors that offer all of the above are the ones with the broken machines and the flickering lights. Which brings us back to where we started. The zombie mat is not the problem. Being the person who turns it back into a real business is the entire opportunity. The scaling path is straightforward. One profitable location funds the acquisition of a second. Operators who build a portfolio of 3 to 5 laundromats under consistent management are generating $200,000 to $400,000 in annual net income from a business that does not require them to be physically present every day. And laundromats sell based on a multiple of net income, typically between 2.5 to 4 times annual net, making a well-run 3-location portfolio a genuinely substantial sellable asset. Clean clothes, recession-proof, and a zombie mat waiting somewhere near you right now for the right buyer to bring it back to life. If this kind of breakdown is useful, subscribe to the channel. Every video, one real business, the real numbers, and an honest look at what it actually takes.